Savage Media.
Blessed risings, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in from. You got to keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show. And today, on this episode of the Hakuna Matata Hour, we will be discussing FBA versus the haters, why we're the biggest threat to the status quo. Let this Buster take it away.
I've been getting a lot of comments like this under my video, and I just want to let everybody know what an FBA is. FBA stands for Foundational Black Americans. FBAs are friends.
That is what we are. That is what it stands for. And then he's done after that. He has nothing else to say after that because he himself is not one. So how would you even begin to understand and be able to answer that question and delve deep into it? But no, instead, you want to hate all while saying you're trying to be as one people, right? We haven't done nothing to nobody, right? All we do is fight for our rights, right? Right for reparations. And we say, no, it shouldn't include everybody. So then we said who it should include. You got mad at that. Then we just supposed to take all the name calling and all the cult calling. And then so when we call you musty, dusty tethers and say that you get stuffed off of bushmeat, now we're the bad guys, right? But continue your hate though.
Group of Black Americans / African Americans who are highly xenophobic, and their ideology is rooted in American exceptionalism, American nationalism, and hyper xenophobia. They want to detach themselves from their African identity and be founded in the American settler colonies' ideal of what it means to be American. FBAs are connected to and related to the ADOS movement, which was founded in the 90s/2000s. You will see a lot of similarities between the groups. A lot of these groups preach reparations, black capitalism, American exceptionalism, homophobia, transphobia, etc., and now, since the Trump era, anti-immigration. FBAs were founded by a man named Tariq Nasheed in the 2000s. Tariq Nasheed is a right-wing grifter. Tariq Nasheed is his own case for a whole nother video. But FBAs are a group in which if you do not perform African Americanness or blackness in their way, they call you a tether, which in simple terms means that you're an imposter. You're pretending to be African American and you're not.
No,
this is also
we don't claim African American. We don't claim that. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's what I'm saying. It's just a lot of misinformation and hate, right? So he's doing this on purpose, right? This is why we call him a tether, not because he's born somewhere else. That isn't what makes you a tether. Oh, just because I'm from Africa, I'm a tether. That's not true. It's the action. The action that he's doing is the action of being a tether, right? Right. That's what we do have a video that we explain what it is to be a tether. We have a whole video. I'm not going to go over it again in this video. You have to go watch the programming that we have. We're giving knowledge on a daily basis. Hit that subscribe, right? All notifications so that you can get the shows. And then make sure you follow all of our channels because we have different programming on the channels. And sometimes we run all of the programming on all of the channels because you may not have got the notifications from Twitter, from X, from YouTube, from Facebook. You know they don't want you to have this information. So if they skip out on a notification for one channel, then you can get the information on the next channels, right? That's why we ask you to do that.
Tell signs if you're dealing with the FBA if they keep tell signs if you're dealing with the FBA if they keep using the word tether, or they just come out and say they're FBA. Now, FBAs are not representative of all African Americans.
We don't represent African Americans at all. You just said we're foundational Black Americans. We don't have Africa nowhere in there. See, this is what I'm saying. You don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Tether.
Relatively an internet thing, but you do have some
that cheetah
in real life.
You have on cheetah print, Mr. Cheetah P.
Americans, they're relatively an internet thing, but you do have some FBAs in real life. So all in all, FBAs are just a loud minority on the internet who do not know.
On the internet, you must have didn't come to the reparations march, right? With all those FBAs that were faking on the internet, right? That were there in real life in DC. Oh, I was there. So I really know, right? Right. And we had a lot of speakers there, right? Not on the internet. So you don't know what you're talking about, buddy. You don't know what you're talking about. Do something with that lazy cheetah PI that you have there. Maybe it's from doing too much giraffe wrestling, sir. And who's that on your wall back there, by the way? Any comments? Let me know who you see him having hung on his wall back there.
Know what they are and what they should be doing in life.
And here we go with another buster. This is another hater. All why we're the cult, all why we hate. Here they are. We just trying to be in our own space, and y'all show up in our spaces. We don't go to your spaces. We don't infiltrate you. You infiltrate us. Here, infiltrator number 2.
I want to do is clarify for all African Americans, Black Americans, that we are not FBA. You see, Black Americans or African Americans are the kindest.
We're not the same as you. What are you talking about? We're not. African American and Black Americans are different. So what is a first? So what is a first generation African born in America? What is he? An African American. I'm not a first generation, sir. Many generations have been here. I can count back 1, 2, 3, 4 generations, P, at least. 4. At least. Right. So what are you talking about, sir?
Groups of people in America. Groups.
Foundational Black Americans are one of the most empathetic, most caring, most kind of people in the world. That's why we keep getting taken advantage of stupid. Right? Right? That's why we jump to everybody else's causes, all why they don't jump to ours. Stupid. That's why we be letting y'all just talk out the side of your mouth, really. And all we do is say a little cheetah pee, and you guys get all out of your skin because we finally are sticking up for ourselves, no matter who it is. Right. So now we're not kind-hearted because we don't want to be bashed no more. Right now, we're not kind-hearted because when we get this reparations, we don't want to share it with nobody who wasn't shooting with us in the gym. Right.
Of people in America.
And then you're so silly. In America. You're only kind in America. That's how you know we're not the same. Look at your face. Look at your face. That don't even look kind. Right? You look demonic. You look evil. Right? That's that tetherosity in you. That's that cheetah pee coming out. That's that rhino jerky. That's that yearning for bush meat that's coming out of you right now.
FBA, right? Foundational Black Americans, which is a phrase. Okay? I want you to keep in mind.
I want you to keep in mind all while he just said how kind he is. Now listen to what he's about to spew out of his dirt bag, mush mouth, bush meat smelling lips.
It's a phrase, but it doesn't represent African Americans or Black Americans.
How do you? I'm Black American. It identifies me. I'm foundational. You almost foundational Black American. Yeah, well, it don't represent Black Americans. She put the foundation on there, so Tariq made it up. He made it up. It never was before. So you don't think there was Black Americans before that thought they was here already? So he put foundation on it. Now he made up a whole people. It's a fringe group. It's just a phrase. It's just a fly by night. He's a grifter.
Most African Americans and Black Americans, we don't even know what FBA is.
So if you have lack of knowledge, therefore that makes you ignorant, right? Ignorant, lack of knowledge on said subject, right? So you're ignorant, right, to your own culture, right? So when you're ignorant to something and you don't understand something, what happens What do a lot of people do, right? Right? They start to bash it, right? Right? They start to make fun of it, right? 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 They give it no credence, right? Because it's new. We haven't heard of it, right? The knowledge, right? The concept of being from here is not new. Tariq didn't make that up, right? Right? He didn't make that up. There's no leader. And then, he went and put a patent on it. He trademarked it. Maybe somebody should have trademarked Juneteenth so that we couldn't have all these old stores willy-nilly and selling whatever they want to sell. We done had run-ins with ice cream and whatever else, Juneteenth ice cream and whatever, right? Right? And whatever else, the other things the mainstream wanted to do to try to pimp and pander our people, right? What are you talking about? So this way, there's some type of control over who can use said terms and images related to us, right? No, makes sense? Huh? In black capitalism, and you live in a whole nation based upon capitalism, and as soon as you put black on it, the ugly secret. It's ugly. We're gonna tell you it's ugly. We love America. But that black capitalism, no, they want to make money. I can't believe it. They don't think they should be broke. No, stop the presses. Stop the presses. They don't think they should be poor. No, you gotta go get them. Something wrong with them. They're cold. They're cold.
You can ask you can go outside in America randomly, ask an African American what's FBA. They will not know what you're talking about. Okay? They won't know what you're talking about. So I just want to make it clear.
So what are you making clear? What does that mean? Because they don't know knowledge of self? So what is that? So don't educate. Don't wake up. Nope, because you have to be a cult if you try to explain to a sleeping brother or sister that they are much more, right? Right? That they are somebody, that they are different, that we do have a culture, that we do have a language, that we exist, that we have existed. No, that's bad. No, because we're threatening your status quo there, sir. Tether, sir, right? Raccoon there, sir. Whatever of those terms fits you, sir, because what you aren't, and you've made very clear, is foundational Black American, and you are not an ally, sir. You have made yourself an enemy, but why? Why, sir, have you made yourself an enemy when all we're trying to do is rise, is raise up, is to go to the position, to ascend to the positions where we should be, where we've earned, right? But let me guess, you're a bootstrapper though, right?
Clear. FBA is a cult. Its leader is a pimp.
How? Where is any of this? Where is any of this at? Can you show us where he was pimping? Are you talking about the little player? What? So you must like men. I'm going to assume that you like men, and you've never had the sauce. You've never you never thought you was fly. You never thought you was that guy. See, you can tell you don't have that je ne sais quoi, right? That swag about you, that culture, you don't have it. See, because you believe it's a bad thing, right? You can tell you just don't, it's an aura, and you don't have it. And you just don't have it. And that's why you can't understand it. And that's why it frightens you. You're terrified.
FBA are the lowest denomination of African Americans.
So we are something then, because you did just call us a separate group, right? So you guys recognize that we're something different. And then you want to say we're African Americans when you know that we say that we're not. And then what's the point of saying Black Americans and African Americans? You're confused, sir. You sound confused, and anybody listening to you is confused. And you know what's not in confusion is the Almighty, right? Is the Almighty's not in confusion. But let me guess. You don't have no spirituality. You don't have no ancestors, right? Ancestor ain't in confusion. We're not confused, right? You're confused, sir. Almost as though you're confused about your sexuality, like one would be confused about being a transgender, right? So you're like trans Negro. You're trans Negro tether, like you're going through a transition and you're confused right now. I can't even verbalize your confusion. I can only give examples of what it's like. You can see the confusion and frustration on your face, and listen to all of the how you're going every which way with your word salad. There were two different African American, Black American. Why ain't they the same? Huh? And then FBA, it's not a group, it's a nothing, it's a cult. Oh, but it's the lower level of African American. So it is within being an African American. You believe this. So there is a level. We are on the level. We are a title. We are right. We're something. Right. But let you tell it just 2 seconds prior to that, we're a cult, right? We're a cult. We're fringe. We really don't exist. No one in America even knows who we are. If you stepped outside, no African American would know who an FBA is, right? That's what you just said. But now you're like, yo, they got enough people where they're just on the lower, they're not high on the totem pole, but they are on the totem pole, right? Right? You just put us on the totem pole. Whether it was low or high, you just recognized us on the totem pole, sir. Right. You're confused, sir. The confusion continues. Oh, that was it?
Of African Americans.
That's it, fam? You're a buster. You didn't even know how to turn off the phone right. What a goober. What a goober.
What I want to do is clarify.
Let's clarify. Why do they hate us? Let's clarify. Let's clarify. Because we're talking about reparations. Right? Right? Let's clarify. You're mad because we stand on truth, and that makes people uncomfortable. We call out historical facts, lineage-based reparations, and the role of anti-Black immigrants in undermining Black empowerment. Many non-FBAs want to erase or dilute FBA's specific contributions to America, and when we stand firm on what's rightfully ours, the pushback begins. Jealousy and imitation. Many so-called critics of FBA secretly admire our culture, swag, innovation, and resilience, but instead of giving credit, they copy, right? Commodify, or outright steal. They love FBA music, fashion, slang, activism, and inventions, but refuse to respect the people who created them. The tether agenda. Some Black immigrants, not all. You see us saying that? No, but you just said all FBAs. You grouped us and lumped us together, all together, and you're making one big statement, a blanket statement, right? Right? We specifically say on this show, we don't do that. If you've watched any of the shows, we specifically say we don't do that. We don't say all. We don't say all. So here I am again, specifically saying some Black Americans, some. Just in the, if I didn't, I shouldn't even have to say not all, because I clearly just said some. So if you understand the English language, you just heard me say some, meaning not all. But here, let me make sure you understood me. Some Black immigrants, not all, but enough to notice, come to America and side with white supremacy to distance themselves from FBA. They push, we are all black rhetoric while looking down on us. But the minute they face racism, they expect FBA to fight for them. When FBA refuses to be the permanent mule, they cry xenophobia. Reparations are a threat. If America acknowledged FBA lineage-based reparations, it means no more lumping all black people together because we're not all one big Negro. No more pretending slavery and Jim Crow didn't have lasting damage. No more free riding on FBA activism and civil rights struggles. That's why tethers and white supremacists unite to smear FBA as a cult, because the movement threatens their gravy train. Mainstream media loves to divide. The media pushes anti-FBA narratives because they fear a politically and economically united FBA community. They prop up immigrant first black faces while ignoring FBA leaders who challenge the status quo. They can't control us. Ooh, y'all really hate that. FBA isn't beholden to political parties, fake leaders, or outside agendas. That's why you see Democrats and the Republicans alike trying to discredit the movement. If they can't control us, they try to demonize us. What is the bottom line here? They hate FBA because we are the backbone of America, the original innovators, the cultural trendsetters, and the ones who set the standard for black excellence worldwide. Instead of giving credit, they attack, distort, and attempt to erase. But the truth is too strong to suppress, and we ain't going nowhere. And that's what I'm talking about. What do we learn here today, boys and girls? We not going nowhere, and they can continue to hate, but we don't care. We don't care about none of that. But I ain't going to hold you. I'm just going to mold you, fold you, and scold you about being off code. Going to leave you with 4 words as we always do around this time. Subscribe for the vibe, like for the spike, comment your comment, and share if you care, if you dare to get black empowerment everywhere. Man, where is everywhere, man? Where is y'all at? Where can I find y'all, man? Oh, great question. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. Come and take a look. You might get hooked. Don't get shook by the fake Keep It P podcasts that are out there. Right? Don't get shook. Love, peace, blessings, and maloha. I gotta go high for show high. You already know how. Big Brother Light Bright Supremo Mike T. Signing off.
Von Savage Media. Von Savage Media. Von Savage Media. Von Savage.